freedom to do what I want. But my parents always indirectly teach me whatever consequences are actions you take, accept the consequences.
Welcome back to Vivienne's channel. This is episode number 23 of the 100 Successful Women, a conversation to inspire series. As always, before I dive into today's episode, I would like to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for being part of this channel and sending me feedback about the videos that I posted. Every feedbacks and comments are very valuable to me. Thank you once again. So in today's episode, I have the privilege to chat with the lovely Amy To. She is the founder of Amor Mexico, which is a restaurant based in Melbourne, Australia. Amy has been running the business with her husband, Alan, for nearly two decades. I really wanted to do a big shout out to lovely Anthony from the Web Doctor for connecting me with Amy. Amy is such a kind-hearted and down-to-earth woman. She is so fun to be with, even though I only met her online. She is really cute and bubbly. No wonder all her patrons in the restaurant love her so much. She has shared with me a lot of incredible stories of hers, especially during the lockdown in the pandemic. Amor Mexico's has also recently been nominated Telstra Best of Business Awards. Aside from that, Amy has also recently embarked on her new venture, the EQ Academy, whereby she helps her clients with online marketing. I am pretty sure all her clients will gain so much benefits from Amy's experience. So I think she got so many stories to tell, and I can't wait for you to hear her stories. So let's all dive into the conversation with her coming up next.
Hi, Amy. How are you doing today?
Hello, Vivienne. Hello from Melbourne to Sydney. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Happy winter to you.
Yes, 1st of June. Yes, and the sun is out in Melbourne.
Yeah. And I'm glad actually warmer than a few days ago here in Sydney.
Is it? What's
Yeah.
the temperature like?
I think it's around 20 today, which is so different from a few days ago. We had less than 10 like a few days ago.
Wow.
So
Oh, well, let's take each day and be blessed.
That's right. It's a blessing
don't
every
bring-
day for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Amy, once again, I wanted to say a big thank you to you for jumping on here despite your super busy schedule. And then I know that you have a few roles that you're playing. So you are a founder of Amor Mexico, and then you have your EQ Academy. So do you mind to tell our listeners or audience out there, who is really Amy To?
Great question. Well, first of all, just to say thank you, Vivienne, for inviting me. I always believe there's no accidents in life, and to have this platform to share with you and your audience, it's such a privilege. So thank you for that. So yes, I play many roles and I have a lot of responsibilities. At the end of the day, I would say Amy To is a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I'm a creator. And I love meeting new people. So even though I'd have different roles, it really comes down to these three things. Yes.
I love that. So I haven't really met Amy in person, but I talked to her virtually on a very short call, and I immediately fell in love with Amy. I love her energy. And then she's just such a beautiful person, and I already feel her energy. And even though just that short phone call away. And thank you so much for sharing that short introduction of you, Amy. And I know that we did mention earlier, you are the founder of Amor Mexico. So I did know Amor Mexico prior to this. I should have go to if I'm in Melbourne, sure I will be there, because I did see the Facebook pictures and it's just full of all this beautiful atmosphere. So what really inspired you to start Amor Mexico?
Oh, wow. Okay. Where do I begin? I think it's, it's a combination of two things. First and foremost, Amor Mexico is a partnership with my husband. So we've been running our Mexican restaurant in Blackburn in Melbourne for 19 years now. And now, as you know, I'm not Mexican and neither is Alan, but when he was at university, he worked in a Mexican restaurant. So that was his side hobbies, passion, to pay his university. And both of us were in corporate world. And, after a few years, he came home and he said he just wanted to change. He wanted to start his business. So that's how Amor Mexico was born. Now, I don't have any hospitality background other than, my dad was a chef, but my love was always with people. It's about creating community projects, bringing people together. So how we run Amor Mexico is a community hub. And our vision, our dream of Amor Mexico is to be a place where people come to connect, to create and celebrate. Yes. So all the projects that we do, whether it's corporate functions or private functions, we've created a beautiful mural community lane outside of Amor Mexico. Yes. And it so happened March, 3 months ago, my God, a long time customer legally got married at Amor Mexico. So it's very dear and very special to my heart. Yes.
Wow, that's such a beautiful story. And it has been running for 19 years, did you say?
19 years, almost
Wow.
2 decades. Yeah. And I'm just so grateful for the community support, the success of Amor Mexico. Yes, we have been blessed for lots of awards, whether it's the White Horse Business Small Business Award. We have been the Restaurant Guru Customer Service, and recently we've been nominated for Telstra Best of Business. So that's an application in itself. It is a journey, and I am just so grateful for the community support. Without them, without Alan, without me, and shout out to my team, Amor Mexico would not be the hub that it is.
Wow, that's a lot of stories for that past 19 years as well.
Lots of stories, and and if you don't mind, we've actually changed location. Our initial location was Forest Hill, which is the east of Melbourne, and I knew about a year ago that it was time to relocate because the space that we were in weren't enough for the projects that I wanted to do with the community. Yes, and we relocated, and it was a community decision. When we moved in Blackburn 2 months before COVID.
Wow.
But that was very interesting. Yeah, and I remember the last night in Forest Hill, which was on the 31st of September. Because when we finished our lease, we didn't have an actual location to move to. So can you imagine being a restaurant without a location? How do you run that, right? But it's very interesting. My customers who's been with me from day one, bless me, goes, oh, you need to write a story. You need to write a story about this restaurant. And I didn't have time because, I had so much to do. But I actually got a book. Have I got it here with me? No, yes, I do. I'll show you if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
So 2 weeks before we relocated to Amor Mexico, I bought a blank book, and I told my customers, I said, look, here's the book, write whatever you want to write, right? And they filled it up. They literally filled it up. Hold on.
Wow.
Yeah, they literally filled it up of their stories. Yeah. And children had. Now, this gorgeous girl, Kiki, dined with me since she was 4 months old. She is now 7. So it's these, and I always believe that the universe gives us gifts in the most unexpected ways. And it was during COVID, and no, it was, yeah, the time when we relocated, I was given an opportunity to write a book, and it was called My Courageous Journey. And this was the basis how wrote my chapter on my courageous journey. So that was another project I somehow got into.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I've got it here. I thought I didn't have it. So this
My
is
Courageous
My
Journey.
Courageous Journey. Yep, and it was a collaboration with 9 other women, and we launched it on International Women's Day.
Oh, is that this year?
Pardon?
Is that just this year?
No, oh my God, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was an experience in itself. Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot. There's a lot, but that's business, right? Lots of things happen, but one thing is always be grateful for the people who's been with you.
Yeah, that's such a journey for you as well.
Yes,
And I like that idea of bringing the book and write for your customer to write that down. It must be a lot of emotion as well, I would say, on the night. I'm not sure, but
oh my God,
will
I boohooed.
definitely.
I cried. Vivienne, I'm a Suki Lala, but I own it. Oh yes, it was absolutely emotional. Yeah, because it was the last, and we didn't know where to move to. But we found the place, and it was chosen by the community, and it's a beautiful space. So whenever you're in Melbourne, come down.
Yeah, of course, I definitely will go there if I'm in Melbourne. So you were saying,
one hat I wear.
Yeah. So you were saying during the move that was prior to the COVID, and then after that COVID hit. So what was that experience like? What was that? How do you overcome the challenges? I'm assuming during that time is a lot of challenges for hospitality, for restaurant. How did you overcome that challenges?
Hold on. Let me reword this. We all respond to the pandemic in our own ways, and I'm a person who loves solving problems. I'm very adaptable. If anything else, as a creator, as a business owner, that period of COVID was one of my best highlights. Now, it's probably strange to hear that, right? Because my God, especially knowing Melbourne, right? We were one of the strictest city in the world, with all the 5 kilometers restriction, 9 kilometers restriction, curfew at 8 p.m. And it just happened so quickly, right? And of course, in hospitality, definitely affected us. Having said that, because I was new in that area, the restriction of the distance gave me the opportunity to get to know the locals very well. Yes, because back then in Melbourne, we were able to do 1 hour of exercise a day. I know I know it sounds strange now, right? But that's how it was. So that 1 hour, and because we were a restaurant, which is considered the essential service, we were able to open, but just takeaway.
Okay.
So what I did, I said, okay, here I am. I'm given this opportunity still open. Let's do something with it. So I literally turned my restaurant into literally a lounge room. I pulled couches forward, right? Because you can't use dining tables, And I learned to have my coffee. During COVID, right? I know. So while I'm making coffee, I started talking to the customers. I got to know the residents. I got to know the local businesses. And if anything else, it was our way of bonding as a community. But also during that time, there was one period of time where the government were promoting outdoor dining because you can't sit inside. There was certain 2-meter distances. These rules we had to work with, right? And outside my restaurant was a laneway, and that lane was supposed to be a one-way lane, but people just, I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't say it's a one lane. They use it as a 2-way lane. So it was a very dangerous laneway, right? And also it was very dull. It was just grey and it was just boring. And I said to myself, if I'm going to work here, if I'm going to run my business here, I need to have a pretty view, right? So I took the opportunity. But before I, went crazy with my ideas, I did a little test, a soft launch. So there was one part, a 10-meter wall, and I spoke to the owner, and he was very generous for me to paint his wall, the fence. It started with the fence. I'm not a fencer, I'm not a painter. I thought, let's start with that. And
Did you do it yourself?
It was meant to be a project for the community for Harmony Day, because Harmony Day was to promote multiculturalism.
Yes.
But
this week is about Harmony Day.
Pardon?
It is Harmony Day coming up.
Is it? I thought it was in March. Anyway, maybe it's different. Yeah. Anyway, so I bought paints and I just left it out. So I started painting. And then I left brushes, and then people came and still social distancing, and it became a beautiful period where kids were putting handprints and pictures, adults, the council came to put in their little piece, and it created a sense of community. And when that, I went, okay, that works. So I took it. So I spoke to the City of Whitehorse Council. I said, look, it's creating positive, well-being as well as the community. Why don't we use the laneway to create a mural? So yeah, that was the push for it, and so now that literal lane is blocked off for the community to use. There's tables, there's umbrellas, there's a beautiful mural, and there's more community projects. So it's kind of taken a life on its own. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's I literally having goosebumps listening to that. That's such a beautiful thing that you are doing. I did see that pictures online, the wing. Yeah. That is so beautiful.
Oh, that's the mural. That's just one part. Yeah.
Oh.
And we have so that's one of Amor Mexico angel. Yes, because I love angels, and I've always wanted a mural of an angel. And so that's that. But there's also a whole literally 10 meters lane.
So they actually blocked that lane now.
Yeah. It's an outdoor precinct. Community. Yeah.
No wonder you say that's a highlight for you. It is such a beautiful highlight for you.
Yes.
During that time.
It was just wonderful. Yes.
So
many stories. So many stories happening in COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you actually created that space for them. It's kind of like suddenly everyone come together to the mural, the drawing is kind of like a therapy for them during that time, which is a bit hard for a lot of people.
Of course, anything else, Vivienne, us as human beings, we're social creatures.
And you needed that.
Of course, it's human connections. Human connection is everything to me, and without the connection, it's physical that energy, that exchange of energy, it's very difficult to move on. So that's why at that time I used Amor Mexico as a platform to bring people together within the restrictions. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's so beautiful and so good to hear that story. And it's such a beautiful story. And I think it is more for you to write in your books that you can have another books coming up soon.
Yeah, well, it's in there. My Courageous Journey. It's all written in there. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that story, Amy. And I love that you actually bringing the community together. And also you did mention at the beginning of a conversation, you were saying that you are a dreamer. So is that what was your dream when you were younger? And is that different from what it is now? I know that this is a question that probably
that's a great question. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is how much, if you can see. Dream until your dreams come true. I've actually got a motto in my office, with that. Have I changed? I think in terms of values, I haven't. I remember when I was a child, this was at, grade 3, so 8, 9 years old. And I remember vividly, I was standing in front of my mirror and just playing all these multiple roles. One second I'll be, I don't know, superwoman, the next I'm a doctor, next I'm a policewoman. So I think it's that thirst for adventures thirst for excitement and that thirst for feeling alive. Yes.
Mm.
And I still believe that sense of childlike qualities, that sense of curiosity runs in everything I do. Yes, to
Wow.
create things together, right?
That's such a great
Mm,
trait to have, especially as a child. Curiosity is something that we adults sometimes forget
mm,
about it. And
mm,
for you
mm,
to have that curiosity since young, there's something that I'm very curious about, because you were saying that you're 8, 9 years old at the time. And
mm,
that was, I'm not sure if, because as a child, we were so curious, we were playful when we were younger. So
mm.
it's good that you actually keeping that curiosity and you keeping that dream since young until now. So is that something that you were allowed when you were younger?
Yes, and yes, I think I would say yes. I come from a family of 5. So
Mm.
5 children, so I'm the last one. So, usually the first one gets all the attention and I kind of just tagged along, or, like by the time I come, I think my parents were quite relaxed. If
Ah.
that makes sense. However, I'm very blessed to be raised by parents who are very business minded.
Mm-mm.
But also my mother is a very community oriented person.
Ah.
My dad had this sense of adventure with him. So I think I'm blessed to incorporate the best qualities from my parents. Yeah. But when I was young, because I came to Australia as a refugee when I was
Mm-mm.
4,
Wow.
so I'm very fortunate to have values from my parents who are very focused on families
Mm-mm.
and education, and yet being raised in a Western educational system allowed me to develop that creativity.
Mm-mm.
Yes. So in my childhood, you know, I was I don't know, I was given that freedom to do what I want. But my parents always indirectly teach me whatever consequences, actions you take, accept the consequences. Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
We talk about whenever most people focus on rewards, but to
Mm-mm.
put rewards, you've got to put effort.
That's right.
Most people wanted privileges, but before privileges, you
You had to
need to have
work.
responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want freedom, but it's the discipline that gives you freedom.
That's
And
right.
it was those 3 things that my parents has bestowed on me. And I think that's why I still maintain a
Mm-mm.
level of curiosity and creativity.
Wow,
Yeah.
you've got such an amazing parents. Yeah, it's
I
always,
know. I know.
yeah,
I'm
that's,
very blessed. And things I've got myself into, my God, being a parent myself now, I wonder how, yeah, the things that I put my parents through. But I think they see that in me.
mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I
Oh,
know.
that's a blessing that you are actually, yeah, because you are, like you say, you are the youngest one, you are
Yeah, that's right.
an
You get away
out.
with murder.
That's right. Yeah, I love
Full
that.
time.
Yeah, I can see that. That's why your mom, because she got a sense of community, you are having a lot of that from her, and you are bringing the
Yes,
community together yourself as
yes,
well.
yes. And mum and dad was in business.
Mm-mm.
Yes, they were both in business in their own rights.
Mm-mm.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
I'm very fortunate. Yes.
Oh, that's so good. And thank you so much for sharing that a little younger story version of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I love that.
Mm.
And I know that aside from Amor Mexico, I
Mm.
think you recently started this the EQ Academy. Do you
Yes.
want to share with us what is that about?
Absolutely. I'm very excited. I'm very proud to launch
Mm,
my second business, the EQ Academy. And this is actually a very natural progression
mm,
for Mexico, because for the last 19 years, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of small businesses, able to
mm,
serve them. But it was through the conversations I have with them.
mm,
Part of my joy working at Amor is I get to sit down and listen to their business ideas.
mm,
Do. And, and I offer my views. And so I kind of accumulated these skills these, these skills that I do. But what was more permanent was during COVID, I was able to utilize social media to save my business from bankruptcy. So
Wow.
it's a sign. It's a real sign, right? And I'm fortunate that Amor Mexico has its own business system that can be run by Alan and my great team. I'm still part of there, but it's time for me to expand my creativity. And so really how I see the EQ Academy is a digital marketing agency where my two arms is personal branding and community building, which is what I do, which is what I've been doing since I was young to now. Now it's on a social media platform. So and I've got a few clients now, and it's exciting. It gives me great joy to bring out the best in them. I think for me, social media is a platform. And if we present ourselves in an authentic way and just to be ourselves and use that platform to good use to serve the community or to serve, the world in whatever way we can, I think it will create a great impact. I really believe that. Yes. And I'll get to meet people from different industries.
Wow.
Fantastic. Yes.
I like that. I love that you're actually you actually successfully, like you say, you're saving the business yourself, and you have all this experience, you've been through all these challenges, and it is so kind of you. You're actually not only doing that and keep your knowledge to yourself, but you're actually sharing it with your clients, helping others to do that. That's so kind of you. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. I learn from my clients as much as, I can do my best. Yeah. Yeah. And, I'll give him my own title, really. I created my own title called digital stylist. I did.
That's so cool.
It is. I think it's just something different, because what I want working with each of my clients is not to box them. Well, the worst thing we can do to ourselves or to other people is to box people. And we're not. We're all unique. Right? Like you, Vivienne, you have your beautiful qualities that you do things in your own way, and you will attract the right people, provided you build that sense of community.
Yeah, I truly believe that everyone is like having their own characteristic, and it's just sometimes like a bit sad people trying to box someone. And recently, I think in one of my video, I was sharing about what was sharing by Michelle Yeoh, just to just break that glass ceilings, and then just don't restrict yourself based on the things that the society created for you.
Yes. And and I'll come back to why I named my business the EQ Academy. Is EQ's emotional intelligence. Right? I think both in business we need the IQ and the EQ. It's the emotional intelligence that will drive our intellect. We use the intellect to justify our emotional reasons. Yeah,
yes, that's so true. 100%. I think emotional intelligence is a lot more. I think it's a lot more important than other things, because without having that emotion, without having that mindset, that's a lot of things that we are actually pressing the brake, not passing through. Yeah.
And there's so many levels to emotional intelligence, but how I see it, and this is, it comes back to because my degree, my studies in community psychology. So I've actually combined the two. Yeah.
You're actually doing community psychology.
Yeah, I majored in community psychology and human bioscience.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've combined the two in my study. It's about awareness, awareness of ourselves, awareness of others, and how do you integrate the two. And that's what business is. Business is people. Business is all about people, but you got to understand yourself first, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I remember one of my high school mentor, he's no longer with me, and he always says to me, and this wisdom, I carry through all my life, is that when we understand ourselves, we will understand others.
Yeah, it's all come to ourselves first before others. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh, that's so lovely of you. And I can really feel for your clients. They are so blessed to have you. And you have all this knowledge because you have been in meeting people for the past 19 years. And I believe that there's I don't know how many people that you have met. That's a lot. And how many conversations that you had. And from this conversation, there is so many knowledge or wisdom that you have gathered in you.
Yes, that's right. You're absolutely right, Vivienne. And you know, it's for me, it's taking what I know and to turn it into something that people can use. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is the more I, give out, the universe is very kind. It comes back to us. It comes back. We just need to be open to receive it.
That's so true. It's the universe always is there, and it's always
Universe provides.
Yes, that's definitely so true. That's I can't wait for you to share more about your EQ Academy with
Love
your
to.
success story in the future. And yeah, I'm really looking forward for it. And then you were saying that it just started this year, is that right?
Correct. Yes. It's been like a year to, oh, excuse me, I shouldn't. No, I've turned it off. Because another side of me is I'm part of a book club. It's a mastermind, and it's been going our 3rd year now. Yeah.
Is that the one that is going to happen, Think and Grow Rich? Is that the one?
The Think and Grow Rich Mastermind. So this is the new project that I'm working on. So yeah, and I'm just very, because part of me is I love reading, but reading and studying a book are 2 different things.
That's right.
Reading, you just read, but when you deconstruct everything, like deconstruct 15 chapters, you wouldn't do it on your own, right?
That's right.
I'll read it, like just read it. But to do it with a group of like-minded people who have different views, and to put it into action, the world change. The world change. So part of, I actually wrote this, oh my God, so we did the Chief of Own. Yeah. And this happened in December. And I did this every day. And I kid you not, I wrote this in December. And, the Chief of Own is pretty much your vision. And one of the part was to say that I'll have the capacity to serve as the CEO of the EQ Academy. And when I wrote it, I just went, how? I don't know. I was in hospitality. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But it's amazing when you put your dreams into writing and turn it and have a plan happen. So yeah, so I'm very blessed with the book club. And in August, with the Think and Grow Rich, we run 2 mastermind where it's live, where group of actually go out in a retreat and to just lay our plan for the life and execute. And it's that's pretty exciting.
That's a live event?
That's a live event, yes.
Wow.
And we're running 12 in a group. Yep. So it's quite exclusive. But yeah, I'll be running one in January and one in August, twice a year. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing, because you were saying that you were actually writing it down in December, and then now you put that into reality, and that's and at the time you still don't know how are you going to do that?
No, I thought it was. When I wrote it, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, but you just start. You just got to start, right? It's Jim Rohn, because I listen to podcasts when I travel, because I do a lot of traveling. And Jim Rohn said, remember the word not. Most people ask why. You say, why not? Most people ask why you. And you go, why not you? Right? And they say, why now? I go, why not now? You just got to start.
Oh, that's a very good one there. A very good piece of advice for people out there. Why not you? Why not now? That's a great question.
What have you got to lose? You're going to get one shot in life. Just start something. At least you'll be one step further than before, right?
Oh, I love that. So one great piece of advice there out there. Everyone who is listening, why not now? Why not you? That's a great question that you should ask.
And why not?
That's right. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And that's mastermind that you just mentioned. That's running every January and August. That's one coming
the
up
live
in August.
event that every month, not every month, we read classic books. Classic books.
And you unpack it and to
reconstruct and action it. Because we can read to our heart's content, we can dream to our heart's content, but it's action that will give us results. Right? And when you do it with a group, with a mastermind, with like-minded people, you know, it just gives you that momentum to keep moving. And
did you start that, or did you start?
No, it's been 3 years. It's been going for 3 years. But in terms of the live event, it's this year's the first one. Yes. Yes.
Such a brilliant idea. I think that's good that you're bringing everyone together, because like you say, sometimes we read a book and then we just read for the sake of reading, but then you will actually unpack that and put that into action.
Yeah,
that's such a brilliant idea.
And, you know, and as we grow, as we develop, you know, when we come back to classic books like these, you pick up new things. This is my 4th time reading it. Yeah. So never know. Yes.
Wow. I love that. I really love that idea of the book club that you just mentioned, and bringing everyone together and really put that into action.
Yeah. Well, invitations out to you, Vivienne, and to your audience. Yeah, because we read probably about 5 books a year. 5 books a year. But it's the Think and Grow Rich is the live event. And people, and it's free. Why? You know, all you need is time to invest in yourself and to support each other.
Wow. So people in Melbourne, make sure you check, maybe reach out to Amy to find out more about that mastermind and the book club. And then the book club is online, is it?
Yeah, it's online. So we've got members throughout Australia. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely find out more about that after this as well.
Love to.
Yeah. And you mentioned about the book, and you are one of the co-authors of the book, My Courageous Journey, which you just showed us earlier. And do you want to share with us, if we will ask, what is one of your most courageous thing that you have done? What will you say?
My most, to date, most courageous thing I've done is to launch the EQ Academy. This is probably one of my most personal work to date. Yes, it definitely is. Definitely. If anything else, the EQ Academy, it represents Amy. Because all my other businesses, all my project was on collaboration, which is wonderful. To have sole ownership of something that is dear to my heart, and at the same time bring people, this is the most courageous act to date. And who knows what it will bring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually wasn't expected that, because you have been in your business for so long. It is something that I would say starting another business for you probably is not that challenging for you, because you have been through a lot of businesses. And I mean, the business, you have been doing that for so long. So when you say it is one of the most courageous thing that you do, what was in your mind when you're starting this business?
For me, and is having a beginner's mind. Never to allow complacency. You know, it's very easy for me, right, to say, I've been in business for 19 years, I know everything. No, I don't. But to be humble enough to say, I know enough to move forward, but I don't know everything. Right. And it's to have that attitude of constantly learning, and also to have the courage to ask for help when you need it. But to have that beginner's mind. Yes. That was courageous, because at the end of the night, at the end of when when you're in bed, you ask yourself, have I done the best I can? Have I done the best I could today? And that is a litmus test for me every night. Yeah.
That's so true. It is to begin with the beginner mindset, from the learner's from the beginning again, and instead of doing that with the full cup, that you don't not allow new knowledge or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, it comes back to staying curious. How can you be curious if your mind is already full with a mindset? How can you stay curious if we believe that we know everything? You can't. So you have to empty. In order to fall, you must empty.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
and with technology, everything's happening, right? And with people, you work with different people. But I'm just thrilled. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Wow. I can feel your excitement already. Oh, that's such that's such a great piece of advice for people who start their business out there. Like you have been in business for so many years, and then you started with the empty. Start with the beginner's mindset. That's so true. I love that. And for any business to start, it will be some challenges, I would say, and then for yourself as well. So what are some of the challenges that you might be facing right now, and how do you tackling all these challenges?
Okay, where do I begin, my friend? Hold on, we're in May, I've just started a few months ago launching the business. Okay, first of all, oh God, it's the little things, it's the simple things. Like, for example, getting my email to work. It's things that we take for granted, right?
Because I did see your Facebook post yesterday.
I'm so excited. And I think, with anyone who is, whether they're in business from day one or day 1,000, celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the small wins. That will give you momentum. I think it's also, and I'll be very vulnerable right now, is because I'm stepping in a different industry, because my business was in hospitality. I'm actually going into a marketing industry. And in the very beginning, I do my research, what is out there. Now, the side effect is like, oh, this person's good. Oh, this person is good. And you kind of start doubting yourself. But what I learned is, take a step back. I actually said, what makes Amy Amy? And what is it that I have been learning? What have I learned? And the expertise that I've built along the way that makes me unique. And that's why my tagline, the EQ Academy, is called Style It Your Way.
Style it your way.
Style it your way, because everyone is unique. And when I say, why is it such a courageous thing? It's because it's all my personal values, what I believe in is out here, the EQ Academy. And I trust, and it's something I've learned through my community work with, working and running Amor, is when we show up as who we are authentically, right, we will connect with the people who's meant to come to our life. That's it. Easier said than done, right? But I believe it's the easiest way, and yet it's the hardest way. Why would I say it's the hardest way? Because there are so many social expectations. Yeah? Expectations from families, from, whatever. But those are just noises. Quieten our mind and be still and just be brave. Be brave just to show up as who we are. Not only it will increase our self-confidence, at the same time we create a space for others to allow to be themselves. And what better way, to create a space, whether it's personal or professional in our business, to allow a person to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood.
Wow, I love that. And it's touched my heart because thank you so much for being vulnerable and being authentic, of sharing your own challenges, because there are many people out there which is so-called imposter syndrome, which is like Amy, she has been in business for like nearly 20 years, but she still have that maybe fear in herself that she see people that is better than her, but she
It's a thought. I don't think we could ever eliminate that, right? But if you catch it and you're aware of it, right? And then you counteract it with something, okay, work with what I have and go from there. And, I love that phrase. I don't love it. It's interesting, the phrase imposter syndrome. Why I see it's such a term which is foreign to me, and I know it exists, for me, and this is my personal view, is imposter syndrome occurs when a person show up not being who they are. Because we're pretending something we're not. But we flip it around. If we show up as who we are, then imposter syndrome cannot occur. There's a difference between self-doubt or, self-doubt comes out of fear. Fear in what? Fear in our lack of ability. How do we counteract that? Well, if I don't know something, I'll ask. If I don't understand something, I'll learn. There's always a solution, yeah? So there's a difference between imposter and, just learning. That's okay. But as long as we're true to who we are, we will reduce that chance of so-called imposter syndrome. That's my view. Yeah.
I really like what you were sharing, Amy, because like I say, there are people out there who have, like, to you, probably like, you mean self-doubt or some kind of, whether it's imposter syndrome or not, but there are people that doubting themselves and they think that, oh, whether I can do this or no, whether I know enough or no. But I love that you are actually saying something, that you step back and you recognize there are no other Amy out there. And for those of you who are having like self-doubt or something like that, there are no other you out there. Like you are unique in some way. Like, and I love that Amy was saying that, yes, probably there are certain things that I don't know. I just have to go and ask. I just have to upskill myself.
Yeah. And one thing is, we don't need to do it alone. Create an environment, surround yourself with people who love you for who you are and want the best for you. And in return, we can be someone's cheerleader. Right? How beautiful would that be?
Yes.
Just imagine once, Vivienne, if all of us, right, if all of us are able to live out our dream, how much happier we would be, how much brighter and better the world would be.
Definitely. Yes, that's so true. And there are so many like uplifting people out there that you can surround yourself with. For instance, Amy, she's definitely so contagious. Her energy is so contagious. Yeah, I love that when she is there. I believe she is the boss. She bring out the energy from everyone, I would say. And you definitely can surround yourself with like-minded people that help you along the way.
Yeah. I always say, I'll put it simple, right? I always have 3 types of people in our life. Right? One that we aspire to, not by what they do or what they have, but the qualities you want to learn, adapt. And then you've got another group where you can help someone. So you're utilizing your own skills, right? And then the third group is someone who's on the same level because they were able to relate to you. They're going through the same journey as you. Right?
That's so true. It's so true. Yeah, just select the group of people that you want, and definitely.
Look, we may not have a choice what family we're born into, right? But we always have a choice to choose the people who we could be with around.
100%.
We have a choice. If it serves you, great. If it doesn't serve you, count your blessing, you move on, let go. And so you have space for amazing people in your life. Yeah.
That's so true. Yes, we have the choice. We all have a choice in that.
Yeah, it may not be easy. It may not be easy to let go, because we're all social creatures, But what we once had doesn't mean it's what we need now.
Mm.
That's it. There's a saying, there are people that come to us for a reason, and there's some people that come to us for a season. And that
Mm.
applies for me too, right? I can't be everything to everybody, but I always do my best. Anyone that comes in my energy field, as an energy field, they'll leave with a smile.
Mm.
Space I enter will be a better space. Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. And I love that you got so many golden nuggets that you just share in in that few, like the 30-40 minutes that you just shared. There's so many golden nuggets. And I love whatever that you're sharing. It's just so inspiring. I think it's like so many people out there should take maybe one piece of advice from Amy today. I think you will get a lot out of it. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us, Amy. And I think another question that I wanted to check with you or to ask you is that I know that you started your business with your husband, and then working with husband or with partner sometimes is quite challenging for and what's your one tips on working with partner?
Can I also add in another role? So my beautiful husband, Alan, who is my business partner, my husband and our father too. I've got two sons, 20 and 18, right?
Yes.
So I've got three hats. At the beginning wasn't easy. It's not that it will never be easy, it just gets easier. But one thing that Ellen and I work so well in business is we respect each other's space and expertise. Alan is the head chef of Amor Mexico. So his kitchen is his kingdom. Right? And my strength is at the front of house. So we make a complement, a great team. And I'm just so lucky that our skills complement each other. But if there was one practical advice for couples who work together, right, is take the time when it's business, but when you come home, leave the business aside and come home. And when you enter the house, you're husband and wife. Husband and wife. And decide which hat you're going to wear. Yeah.
So important. That's such very important message sometimes that people have forgotten. Yeah.
Yes. Respect will be the takeaway here. Respect for yourself. Honor your skills, your own skill, but respect your partner's skills and contribution. Yes.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's very important reminder for people who work together as a couple out there. When you're in the business, make sure you leave it to business. And when you're home, really, that husband and wife relationship have to be in clear, and then it's like respected as well.
Yes. I think as human beings, we need recognition. We need recognition, and particularly recognition from our people who are important to us. So, I've been married with Alan for 23 years now. 23 years, my God, 23 years.
I did see the post that you did on Instagram for your anniversary or something like that. That's so lovely.
Yeah. And both of us, we respect, but we recognize each other's strengths.
That's so beautiful.
And let the other person know. To say, hey, hon, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, that's a reminder. That's one of the top 6 core needs. One of them is significance, and people need to be recognized.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that piece of advice. And I believe that's very important for people out there as working as a couple, which a bit of the challenge, like you say, you did have that challenges at the beginning, but over time you did take a lot of lessons.
It all happens, as you grow as a person, your business grow, there'll be new challenges. I always say, what was that saying? I read a quote somewhere along the line is, your business growth will never extend your personal growth. To grow, you've got to personally grow.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I love that you two are actually growing together.
Yes. Well, now he's given me the space, and we both agreed that, you know, we've set up a system. Amor Mexico can operate on its own with Alan and me on the side. So, and now I can focus on my EQ Academy. Yeah.
That's such a very you guys have the mutual agreements, and that's very important in any relationship. That's so beautiful, I think. Thank you so much for sharing that, and that's very important for people, especially couple out there. And yeah, I am very mindful of the time as well, and then I know that it's, I'd say 30 minutes, but then we have nearly 1 hour. Yeah,
that's great.
So what's next for Amy? Aside from, you did say
growing the
Academy.
EQ Academy. I'm going to do more travel. I love to do more travel. I've always been a traveler, and for my 48th birthday this year, which was in March, I went to Europe with my girlfriend. Yeah. So there'll be more traveling. I think it's very important for me, not just to focus on business, but to have a personal life, to do things that I love. Yeah. So I'm hoping next year, I'd love to do go to Italy to explore Italy.
That's so lovely. Yes, explore and see the world, and there's so many things to learn as well, right?
Absolutely. But EQ Academy is my baby. I've got to, you know, nurture it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure that will be something that is going to be big focus for you as well, since you just starting it, and there are lots of work and efforts. Yeah. And where can they find you online, Amy?
So you can, on my website, the eqacademy.au. You can go on Instagram, EQ Digital Stylist, or on Facebook, the EQ Academy.
Yeah, I'll include the link later as well. Yeah. So before we wrap up today's conversation, I wanted to say a big thank you to you, Amy, for sharing all the golden nugget that you just shared. I believe it's so valuable for people out there who's listening. And what is your one piece of advice for women out there, especially, or any advice that you want to give to them?
I think from one woman to another woman is be your own hero. Be your own hero, right? Whatever you seek, be that person. Be your own hero.
Yeah. Love that. Be your own hero, and be your biggest supporters and cheerleaders as well. Thank you so much for that. I really love that, and that's going to be one of the mantra for me as well. I haven't heard of this. Be your own hero. That's so important. Thank you so much for that piece of advice, and I believe it's very important for everyone out there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vivienne. Thank you for the time. It's been a true pleasure. Yeah, and I'm so glad we connected.
I know. I really am. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I know that you are super busy, and even though you're busy and you just take some time for me today, it's so beautiful, and I really love your energy, and I can't wait to see you in Melbourne, Amy.
Okay. I'm sure we will meet up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks, Vivienne. Bye.
Bye.